Hey, welcome to Guitar Knobs, the guitars, gear, noise, and nonsense podcast, hosted today by these knobs.
Tony Dudzik, pick guardian.
Hey, everybody, it's me, Todd. Novak. Welcome to the Guitar Knobs podcast. We're thrilled to death that you are listening to our show. Yes, boy, we are ending. The end is nigh. Well, at least the end of the year, anyways.
Yes.
Cross your fingers for the other kind of thing.
You know something I don't?
No. But this is the second to the last one, I think. Something like that. Anyway, it's pretty close. So, and to usher in, this is going to be number 450.
450.
450.
450.
And the lucky winner of the 450th podcast episode goes to, say your name.
Terry from DevTech Audio.
Terry from DevTech Audio. I matched your tone, but not your awesome accent. Where are you hailing from, Terry?
I'm from Sydney, Australia.
Hey, I have a guy that I know in Sydney. Would you happen to know him?
Absolutely.
His name is Frank.
Yeah, his
name is Bruce. Bruce. What's his last name?
Frank.
Bruce. Bruce. Anyways, we're going to have a great time. We've been kind of talking with Terry for a little bit just before everybody heard this, and we're having a lot of fun with him. And not to mention, the man makes some pretty awesome pedals, which he was more than kind enough to send our way to check out. So we're going to find out all about Terry. He's got a great backstory and a great reason for his pedals, I would venture to say. He's not just making them randomly. I think he has purpose in mind. So more to come on that. Terry, where can people go to check out the things that you do?
You can go to my website at devtechaudio, all one word, .com, and also on Instagram as well, if you search for DevTech Audio.
There you go. And these, you can get these things directly from your website, or like if you're in the States, where's the best place to actually get one of your pedals?
Yeah, you can buy direct from the website. We ship all over the world. We're forming a partnership at the moment with Destroy All Guitars in the US, but which will, I guess, help with the tariff situation that's happening in the US and shipping costs as well. So watch this space. I'll announce that on the website once it's done.
At the end of the show, there's a couple others I might throw your way just so you can, get a little even more footprint. So remind me to do that. I'm going to write myself a note.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah, you bet, man. Okay, so yes, lots of great things. We're going to talk about pedals, guitar stuff, rock and roll, music, blah, 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 and have a few laughs along the way. We really, truly are thankful that you are listening, and we hope you are getting ready to enjoy yourself, have a few laughs, just as we are. We have a couple seats right around the table, and believe it or not, you listening right now, we feel like you're here with us. Okay, so announcements. Let's start with that.
Okay.
It's not one of our announcements necessarily, but longtime listeners will know that we have on multiple occasions quoted things from Toast of London.
Yes.
Because we love that show. Matt Berry is absolutely just ridiculously funny and talented. And if you aren't aware of it, which I'm sure most of the people are, but I'm just going to throw it out there anyways. He was featured on that pedal show. And I was absolutely delighted. I'm watching it again. And it's just fantastic. Super talented, wildly funny. And it was like, wait a minute, that's our guy. That's our guy right there. He was great. So funny.
Well, do you know what your Christmas gift is this year?
Matt Berry?
I got a hold of Matt, and he's
beautiful.
He's going to come on next week.
Yeah.
He's going to be part of our rap.
That is fantastic. That's the best news I've heard all day.
Matt, if you're listening, come on, man.
Yeah.
Don't make me look like an idiot.
So, anyways, so that is on That Pedal Show. Please go check it out. And also, Toast of London is on Apple TV now.
Oh.
So I'm watching that for like the 7th time. I can't get enough of it.
They're just really good.
Yeah. Anyways,
very funny.
That was my little update right now. That's what I got.
Did you see him in the IT crowd?
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
yes.
That was another really
good
one.
That's
so
the first
great.
time I was like, wait a minute, who is this guy? And then I saw the Toast,
awesome.
and then it was over for me. So,
what a funny guy.
Yes. So let's get on with what's going on in our music world this week. That was very musical of me. I appreciate myself for that. Okay, Tony Baloney's going to kick it off. We're going to check in with Terry, and I'll wrap it up.
All right. Well, this week I finished reading Commando, the autobiography of Johnny Ramone. And it's a pretty quick read. It's not the best written book in the world. And
You're selling it so far, pal.
And the type is extremely large. There's some great photographs in it. My favorite is of him in military school when his father decided that would be a.
Is that spiral bound?
No, but it's really cool. Look at the binding on it. Here, I'll let you look at the binding.
Thanks, man.
It's an interestingly bound book. It's got a very thick cover.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen anything quite like this before. But long story, even longer. Much of what he wrote in here, I pretty much knew from either interviews and different things like that, and he and I really didn't see eye to eye on politically, or he's definitely on the far right, very conservative, and but I do have to give him credit for keeping the Ramones together for as long as he did. I think if it weren't for someone like Johnny, who kind of ran the band like a business/military operation, they wouldn't have been around for as long as they were. And the Ramones are the band that I've seen, or that I saw the most between the 80s, 90s, and 2000s. I counted all the shows that I went to, and I think I came up with about 15 times.
Wow.
And one time, I'll just share this because it was my.
Were you the one yelling, "Play the hits, play the hits"?
slow it down, slow it down. Can't understand the words. No, so one of the cool things, because I grew up in Youngstown, Ohio, and their sound company was Jam Sound, run by the Markoviches. And they basically, when from the time that the Ramones broke out of CBGBs and started touring, Jam Sound was the company that brought PA and took care of their amps and things like that. So it was kind of fun having that connection. And any time that the Ramones were playing either Cleveland or Pittsburgh, they would always do a gig in Youngstown. Mm-hmm. So one of the reasons why I saw them so many times. But
that's because where all the Teamsters live.
There are some Teamsters there. Sort of. They go by a little different name, but anyhow, the one weekend, and this was my deaf weekend. It was a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And Friday night, they played in Pittsburgh. And so, for those who don't know, Youngstown is about midway between Pittsburgh and Cleveland. And so we drove down to Pittsburgh to see the show. Then they played in Youngstown the following night, Saturday. Went to that show. And then Sunday night, they played up in Cleveland.
Wow.
Went to that show.
Wow.
And I credit the Ramones with a lot of my upper end hearing loss, because that weekend, I mean,
I can imagine.
I woke up Monday morning and my ears were just ringing.
Well, that's when your ears start taking that much punishment. I don't know about you or Terry, you please chime in, but I physically start feeling ill. Like if my ears are getting punished too hard or too long, it's like it starts making me feel like it's your body just kind of going, get out. You know?
Nah, see, I usually just go over to the bar, and that takes care of that.
Yeah.
But anyhow, I mean, if anybody is interested or doesn't know a lot about the Ramones, it's a great book to hear. It came right from the horse's mouth.
Yeah,
and
it's a cool looking book too.
It's pretty cool, and it's older. I think it came out in 26. Well, maybe longer than that. He's been gone for I forget how many years. This one came out in 2012.
Okay.
And I just happened to stumble across it, and I said, well, I'm going to get that.
Yeah.
I'm going to get that book.
That's great. So who read it to you?
My wife. I had her do it with a New York accent. It was great.
Dear. Anyways, Terry, what's going on in your music world this week that isn't building pedals?
Yeah, well, a lot of my time's dedicated to that, but a couple of things last week, or I'm not sure if it was last week that it was released, but it's when I came across it, was the Wish You Were Here Pink Floyd 50th anniversary. Was set up. New release was out, which is like a three disc. I say disc these days, but it's all online streaming, isn't it? So
yeah,
a bunch of 3 different discs with some sort of legacy recordings and live recordings from the 70s. It's fantastic. You should check it out.
Nice.
Yeah.
I love it when they I am such a fan of live recorded music.
Mm-hmm.
Some of my favorite albums are the live ones, the weird bootlegs, like French and German stuff that's just like not French and German, but pressed there, because they got away with it somehow.
Yeah, mine too. I think with music, I find when it's not perfect, it interests me more. So I do like the live recordings better than actual studio.
Yeah.
I feel like people are trying to be perfect when they're recording, right? So it's less interesting.
Yeah.
A few mistakes.
It's kind of a semi low quality recording that was recorded by the radio station, but I have one I've got an album from Cheap Trick that was
nice.
December 31st, 1979. They were...
What a party that would have been.
Right? Are you kidding?
Yeah.
And they did... I think they played Surrender when the clock struck... when it became New Year's. And
that's cool.
I was listening to it, and I couldn't... I wanted my kids to I was like, okay, we're going to have a little mini listening party. And we listened to the first couple songs. I'm like, now imagine we're going from a very, very tumultuous area of the 70s. The 80s has seemed like the way off future to everyone. And one of the biggest bands in the world is playing, and on the radio, they're broadcasting this live. And you can hear when they basically go to Happy New Year kind of thing. And this was also one of the biggest songs in the land from one of the biggest bands in the land, and on the eve of one of the most incredible decades ever. And I'm like, the amount of electricity and hope and just joy and rock and roll awesomeness and youth and everything was just exploding at that moment, and it was captured. And it's absolutely lovely. Yeah. Anyways,
yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah. Speaking of girls, I know that you have 2. Is that I'm right? Yes.
Yeah, I've got 2 girls. So one 16 and one 11. The 16-year-old's going on 25, and the 11-year-old's going on 16. So, I'm enjoying that at the moment.
You want to give a shout out to them real quick in case you're listening in the car?
Absolutely. Hello to Ella and Maya. Yeah, no, they're good kids.
Yes.
It's funny. I've been trying to introduce some some good music to them, I guess. So,
Sure.
And bought my 11-year-old a Pink Floyd shirt, which he wears, and she's decided that she doesn't want to listen to that anymore. She's fully into Taylor Swift. She wants a Taylor Swift shirt now. So I think I failed, but yeah, the older ones.
She'll come back to it. She'll come back to it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's my plan. So yeah. No, they're good kids.
Yeah, when she hits like 16, 17, she's like, Dad, have you ever heard of the Doors? Dad, have you ever heard of Led Zeppelin? Dad, have you ever heard of Black Sabbath? Have you ever heard Pink Floyd. You told me about that one.
Yeah, it's my oldest one listens to Evanescence, actually, so a little bit of rock there, and so I'm having that one. Yeah.
It's interesting how we are influenced in what we choose to take and what we actually look back on and go like, wait, that actually was really great listening with some of that stuff with my dad, or your mom or whoever that might be, your cousin Jerry. I don't know.
That's how I grew up, right? I guess you might be the same, but my mum used to tell me stories about this little flat top desk tape recorder that I used to have, and she'd say you were 5-6 years old and you'd be playing Led Zeppelin and Deep Purple on your little tape player. So obviously influenced by my dad. So
yeah. Did you have a little paste on sideburns when you were a little kid or something? Oh dear. So, well, that's cool. I'm glad that you have exposed them to some awesome music, and you can't escape great music. If you're at all interested in music, you won't be able to escape the really great stuff. That's right.
They'll come around to it.
Can we quote you on that?
You can.
Okay.
Well, for me,
Todd, what about you?
Oh, thank you, Tony. So. Last time I talked about using the HX Stomp poly capo. Now, all you people who say capo, throw rocks at me. Go ahead. It got us to where we needed to go. Now, I will say, beyond a certain drop or
rise.
Thank you, of where you might want that capo to sit. It can get pretty artifacty.
Yeah, I wouldn't go above 5.
Yeah, or 4 or 3, really. But it did get us into the okay, what's going to work? Where do we need to sit?
Yeah.
And it was very interesting to see how this played out because, we went up, we went down, we tried that again, we moved around, and that, that works really great on the Stomp. I know that there's ways that you can control sort of like how smooth it is, how much artifact you get based on like what kind of music you're playing. If you're playing really aggressive music, you kind of have to jack it up and you might get more artifact. Anyways, you can play around with it yourself. It's called the poly capo in the Helix thing.
Is that what it's called?
It is, yes.
Poly
capo.
Poly capo.
Polly wants a cracker.
No, stop, Tony. No. Put away your little golden book of jokes, you guy. Okay. Anyways, so what we ended up doing is finding the spot, and then our new bass player, who's an actual musician.
Did he have a capo too? Did he have a poly capo?
No, he has a brain. So he said, "Okay, so I see what you're trying to do. Why don't we just change the chord structure to this?" And I was like, "Well, I mean, that's one way to do it." So we did it that way. I just needed to get it to where we needed to be quickly, and it worked. So my thanks to my bass player for helping us out with that.
Thanks for helping, Todd.
Yay. I almost forgot.
Oh, what?
So I've been on a tear with just going downstairs after dinner, after getting all the dishes and blah, 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 and just saying, I don't know what I'm going to play. I'm just going to start playing, right? Mm-hmm. And I told the story how I was trying to tell my daughter that, and I've called her down about 4 times. I'm like, get down here! And dropped 4 new song ideas. And the problem that I've had in the past is like, okay, now I got to hook this up to this thing and go over here and put it up the computer and transfer all that, and that kind of takes the joy out of it because I don't have an area where I just have a big recording studio where I can just sit there and do that. So the GP5, which I was going out of,
yes,
has a USB-C connection in the back so that you can use the app on the computer or whatever. Mm-hmm. But guess what else it does, Tony? It goes right to your phone, and you can open up the voice recording on the iPhone, and it sounds flippin' amazing. It sounds just like it does coming out of the headphones. Wow. And I was like, holy macaroni. This changes everything for me. So I can just rip right out of that thing. I'm so excited. And they just announced the let's see, Valaton GP. It isn't the 5, it's the 50. I think it's called the GP50, which is about twice the size of the GP5, maybe a little bit bigger. It's got 2 buttons, and it's just got some more stuff on it. So you can like page through your settings if you want to do that. I don't need to do that, so the GP5 is going to work out great. But that other one that they just came out, the GP5 multiplex processor, is $120, guys.
Oh,
wow,
it's ridiculous. And I'm telling you, I'm so impressed with the way it sounds, especially if you're just busy like creating. Are you gonna play a gig with it? I mean, you could, and it might actually sound pretty great. Tony's heard it, and he's got very discerning ears.
Yeah. Well,
they've been punished.
Not since the Ramones.
Yes. Yes. Anyways, so if this at all sounds interesting, just go do it. That GP5 is $65. There's nothing on the market that can even get close to this. Anyways, there you go. All right. And you know what the coolest thing is? I got the little mini board, and I got all my patch cables plugged in so I can put in a couple of DevTech pedals to go in front of the GP5. And it actually takes drive really well.
Really?
Yes.
Huh.
Awesome.
And I use the Tour Gear Design patch cables.
Tour Gear Design patch cables, you say?
That's right. Tour Gear Design patch cables. I got the ones made for Australian pedals.
Ah.
Yes.
They go backwards.
And it worked out fine. It took a little while to get there, but it worked out fine. I highly recommend that you go over to tourgeardesigns.com.
Yes.
Get a whole bunch of these. Just do it.
Load it up. Load up that cart.
Christmas is coming, you guys.
Goose is
getting fat. This is like the easiest thing ever. Just say, I want a whole bunch of cables from tourgeardesigns.com.
Yeah.
You go, you hit purchase, and guess that's just going to prompt you to get the coupon code box.
Don't freak out.
Don't freak out, man. Because you're going to put what in the coupon code?
The guitar knobs. All lowercase, all one word.
And you're going to save how much?
15%.
While it lasts.
15.
Yeah.
And these things are already very reasonably priced.
Yes. Yeah.
And they ship fast. Just load the cart up, buy a bunch of them. Yeah. You're going to need them.
Yep.
And you can put, we've always said you can sneak an extra pedal or two on your board.
Yeah.
Because these things, they're a very low profile design.
Yeah. So thank you to Tour Gear for sponsoring our 4 on the Floor.
Let me get a little bit of this.
1, 2, 3.
4 on the floor.
All right. Terry Crawford, DevTech Audio. What is your 4 on the floor?
4 on the floor, right. So generally, if I'm only picking 4 pedals because, as a pedal maker, we often use a lot more than 4. But 4 primaries. First one, or my favorites, would be definitely I have a Cornish, Pete Cornish OC1 compressor that I usually run into first, unless I'm using a fuzz pedal, which goes before that. But yeah, was
that your first Pete Cornish pedal?
Yeah, it was actually. I needed a compressor, and compressors scared me. Too many too many knobs and options and controls, right? So I'm a simple guitarist. I need something simple.
Yeah, that's what scared me away from calculators too.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, and maths in general.
Yes.
For me. But yeah, there's only three controls on it, which works well for me. So you've got
what brought you to in a land of so many compressors? I imagine you got this a while ago. What led you to that one? It was,
they're not generally, you'd have to mortgage a house, right, to buy them. But I had a friend who had it, didn't like it, and decided to let it go fairly cheaply. Otherwise, it would have been restrictive, I think, just based off the cost. Yeah. It is a great compressor, though. Optical has a blend control, which is what I like most about it. Need to have a blend control. But none of the the ratios and the other controls that the more complex compressors have. So good starting compressor.
Yeah. Okay.
It's 3 knobs: volume, blend, and compress. So
what is that? What is that worth these days? I'm gonna look it up on my side too. What do you think it is?
In Australian dollars or in US dollars?
Well, we can go for Australian dollars, and then we'll do a little bit of math.
I think it's something around the 800 mark. So they're about £500. So if you convert that to Australian dollars, it's about 6 million.
Wow, $900 over here.
Yeah.
That's mental. Awesome for you.
Yeah, I was pretty happy with that. So
holy cow,
I picked it up for a few $100 myself. So I was pretty happy with that buy.
Yeah, I should say so. What's next?
It is. They're built like a brick, right? They're his build qualities. They're obviously built for touring, big name artists, and Paul McCartney, Gilmour use them. So I don't want to put myself in that group, but yeah. And then there's me.
Yes.
And then number 2 would be very themed here. If you've seen my pedals, you probably understand where the theme's going, but it's someone I'm a little bit obsessed with from the guitar world. But number 2, I would put the BK Butler tube driver in there. Have you heard of that one?
Yes.
Yeah.
I actually had the when the Chandler basically took that over. Yeah, so it was a Chandler rack mount tube driver.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what I was doing. Nice. I was a youngster, and I had a PV Special 130. And I said, and I was at this local guitar shop, and I don't know, I was like, I guess I better buy that thing. So I on top of my PV Special 130, I had a Chandler tube driver, a rack mount.
Those things are rare now.
Yeah,
don't tell me you got rid of it.
Oh, yeah, I got rid of that ages ago. I didn't know any better. Yeah. No one was there to hold my hand. I was all by myself in a lonely land.
Yes. I'll give you a story later about selling something you shouldn't have. I'll touch on that.
Oh, well, we got to hear that. Yes. So what about the tube? Tell me about this.
The tube driver's it's his own circuit. So I got mine after he started. After Chandler phase, and then he started rebuilding them and offering them. So I reached out to him and picked one up. So I just like it can be a little bit noisy and the way if you set it, it does have some bad settings on it. But if you set it correctly, it's just magic, especially driving other pedals as well. So a bit lower gain and push the volume, and the EQ is really powerful. So so drop the EQ a little bit.
Yeah.
It's just got this nice tube warmth that matches my playing.
Yes. I tried to buy the black and yellow kind of version of this one. I'm trying to recall the name of it, but I bought one off of Reverb, which is basically its cousin. And
it's the drive tuber.
The drive tuber, yes. Yes. It's shaped like a potato. And I got it, and I was so dismayed because it didn't work. It was broken, and they're like, well, did you try this?
No.
I'm like, look, guys, this thing doesn't work. So I sent it back.
Did you plug it in?
Yeah. Interesting, the tube-based pedals, that's like a whole thing that I've attempted to go down, but it is a bit cost prohibitive. You have to really kind of commit to it, I think.
It is, yeah. It's not something I do with. I don't have any other tube-based pedals, so it's just the sound of this was especially into. I run a Marshall JCM 900. That was my first amp ever, actually.
Oh yeah.
I bought in my first big amp. Bought in 1994. A kid walks in and buys a 100-watt tube amp. But yeah, into that and or into the high watt, which has now become my main. Just sounds magic. Yeah.
Outstanding. Well, I guess it would with a high watt, because a high watt, it kind of has a very neutral. What's the word?
Yeah, EQ.
I don't want to say sterile, but it's a thing, but it isn't like a sweet tubey thing.
Yeah, I generally talk about the high watts like it's a canvas, right? And you build your tone on top of that.
Outstanding. What's number 3?
Number 3, I have a EHX Electro-Harmonix Big Muff Ram's Head, which I love. It's not one of the 70s ones, which I'd like to get my hands on, but again, I can't mortgage my house to, or sell a child to grab one. So, so it's just one of the the reissue ones, which works well. Again, this is something I'd probably use my own pedals for, but I do have the Ram's Head, which I used to use quite often before that.
Now, of all of the EHX stuff, and all the muffs and everything, why the Ram's Head?
Well, it was a toss-up between that and the Triangle. I think the Ram's Head just has that, it's just a different scooped sound that I like, I think. And by itself, not so much. I think I'd prefer to go, a different, even the Russian ones, the Green Russian or the Civil War is another favorite that I like as well. But the Ram's Head just has a tone by itself, right? It's different to the others. I don't know how to describe it, but that mixing it with, if you run the tube driver into that or even after, different sounds, but it just creates that thing that you're after.
Yes, which you're going to get to ultimately, which you're going to hear about.
That's right, one day.
Yeah. And how about number 4?
And number 4, I'd have to put in the Dorna Prince Booner. It's a multi-head, or it's emulating the old Binson Echo drum delays.
Now, one more time on that title.
Dorna Prince make it, and it's called Booner, Boonar.
Dorna Prince Booner.
Yeah, yeah. So if you look it up, it even looks like a mini version of the old Binson Echo Rex that we used.
Okay. Well, that's a little tiny pedal. It's one of those ones that
it is a little tiny.
Let's make it horizontal, and you're like, why?
Yeah, why would you do that? That's the only thing I don't like about it. Yeah. So we're talking about things I don't like, horizontal pedals. But yeah, just they've done a really good job with the emulation of it, the DSP behind it, trying to emulate that that old drum delay, multi-head delay sound. I think they've got a new one out actually, which is tube driven. But again, a bit cost prohibitive for me.
Yeah.
So I've just got the little one. But yeah, it's fantastic, absolutely fantastic. And because it has this function on it called swell, which kind of acts like or sounds almost like a reverb actually. So it's like you've got this delay and you've got this swell behind it, which sounds reverby. So I don't need a reverb pedal as well, even though the amp doesn't have it. I'd absolutely recommend you give it a try and play around with it.
Well, I think I would join
Fantastic.
you on the little teeny sideways pedal because we just looked up the price on the Donner Prince Booner Tube Deluxe LTD, and a paltry $1,150.
But it comes with free shipping.
That's true. Yeah. My.
Yeah.
Well.
A little bit out of reach.
I wanted to go back just really quick. I looked up my history on Reverb, and it is the TubeWorks Real Tube Overdriver, which is, it says concept and design BK Butler, made in USA. So they got it licensed from him. I don't know. This is obviously, I think this is in between Chandler and maybe not. I'm trying to remember where this came out. I think this is the 90s pedal.
Well, there's some big history, I think.
There's one way to figure this out, and we get Mr. Butler on the show.
Yeah, I think we might try to do that.
Let's clear this up.
Great idea. Yeah, he's such a nice guy as well. I had a chat with him. He's awesome. Yeah.
Excellent. Can we say you sent us?
Yeah, absolutely.
Perfect.
But there is a bit of history there. I don't know. I can't remember the full extent of it, but yeah, I think they tried to issue the tube drive circuit under their name, and then there was some legal issues, and then they went quiet. There's a whole drama behind it.
Yeah, it's a little bit murky. And back and when this was being developed, I remember trying to get history on it, and it didn't. It was cobbled, I think at best. So. Anyways,
the internet was at its infancy.
Yes.
You couldn't
People weren't keeping track
Google
of
it
so much.
You can't Google that.
Yes. Anyways, well, that's a lovely 4 on the floor, and I think it tees us up very nicely for what you do and why you do it. So, if you wouldn't mind taking the two ends of this rope and making a bow right now,
or a knot,
a bow on top of a knot, and explain
a bow knot.
Why those pedals are your 4 on the floor and how that connects with what the thing that you do.
Yeah, right. So I think growing up, I was heavily influenced by my father, who was into music. A lot, and his brother, so my uncle, played in a touring 70s band around, just an Australian band, but so very heavily involved in the music industry, and his influences came to me in the form of sort of Pink Floyd and Led Zeppelin and that 70s rock era, AC/DC, the old Bon Scott era. And
who was that? You said that last band? I don't think I've heard of them before.
The AC/DC?
Yeah. Is that were they big or something?
Yeah, just a small band out of Sydney.
Wow. That's cool.
They did okay.
I'll have to see if I can find them on Spotify or something.
Yeah. Actually, they're coming here.
Are you serious?
Yeah, there's a new there's a new board out there. They're coming here. Legit.
Wow.
What?
Yes.
Awesome.
I just saw the thing. We're going to have to go, Tony.
You're so going to have to go.
No way.
Yes. Okay. Anyways, this isn't the convince Tony that a band is coming to down show. Please go on, Terry Crawford.
Sorry, Terry.
Terry Crawford, it's your life. Go.
And out of those bands, I think Pink Floyd took their hold, right, and so it has to be my favorite band and playing guitar, then obviously Gilmour just touches a nerve with me. He's just a fantastic player, and the feeling he gets with each note is designed right and intended. So and so that's kind of what inspired the sounds that I try and create, and the pedals that I market. So I think that's why you'll see if you would have already noticed with the pedals I've sent you, there's a strong Gilmour and a strong Cornish type of influence with the pedals.
So what was it about that tone? Or like, it's one thing to like the music. It's another thing to basically make it your life's pursuit to chase that tone.
Yeah, well, I played in bands when I was out of school or in school and then out of school. And we used to play around all the pubs in Sydney, and that tone was something I was always trying to achieve, but had to go on a pursuit to find it, and couldn't afford some of the Cornish pedals to do it. And there was, like Tony said before, the internet wasn't as good back then, and you couldn't track or get as much information as you could these days. And so I guess the pursuit was around my own tone and trying to improve that. And with DevTech Audio, it just was born out of kind of necessity for myself to improve my own tone.
That's like the 300th time we've heard that theme on the show, and that's not. I'm not throwing shade or trying to be funny. I think that's an important thing for people to remember. It's like almost everybody we've interviewed who's making pedals said, well, I had to do it for myself because I either couldn't afford it or I wasn't finding what I wanted to. So you don't have to have the world's most unique idea. If you think you want to do it, if you think you can get your own tone, if you want to experience that build like everybody else did too, go do it.
Yeah, absolutely. I started modding other pedals to start with, and following Brian Wampler and all the big names, Keeley, trying to get as much information as I could. And I had a friend here which runs another pedal company out of Sydney, actually, and who took me along for a bit of a journey and taught me a fair bit of electronics.
What's the company?
It's called Used Art Sounds, actually. Used, 3 words, Used Art Sounds.
Oh, wait, he had some crazy reverb, like a Caverns reverb or something like that, right?
He's coming out with, he's only just sort of starting to get in technology friendly world now. He's got himself a website and whatever, but okay. He used to build amps more than pedals. So, built me an amp, and might be someone different, but so he's sort of taught me a fair bit about electronics, and I already had a background from my father, who was a TV technician early on, and used to fix camera flashes and all sorts of electronics. So when I was a kid, we'd be helping sort of, do the easy things and learn resistor codes and things like that, as you do when you're a kid.
when we fix things.
Yeah.
That's
before
right.
we loaded up the landfill.
Fix TVs. What does that mean?
Oh my God. I remember going down to the hardware store with my dad, because he would take tubes out of the back of the TV and test the tubes, and if they were, you go buy another tube. I mean, it's the craziest thing.
Lick your fingers and touch them, and
we tried not to do that. We let my sister do that.
Yeah.
I had this thing where I used to pull things apart. Right, I think lots of people do this, and could never put it back together. I was always in trouble for pulling bits and pieces apart, computers and VCRs and tape players and whatever, until I could, right? Until I learned
it stung me. It's true.
Because you were taunting
I did that. I was a little kid.
You were probably still
but
taunting it.
I learned.
It only took one time, huh?
You learned the hard way.
Yeah. So go ahead. Yes.
I was just going to say, so yeah, when I was modding the pedals for myself and realized I couldn't, go any further from that, I started, building some kits of popular circuits and to finance my pedal, I'd build sort of 3 or 4 of them and then sell them to friends, or at first I was giving them to friends and say, hey, check this out, and then they'd all speak to their friends, and before you know it, I've got sort of 30 people wanting this pedal. I'm like, this was never meant to be this way. It was, and that's how it kind of began.
So you obviously took to the electronic end of this. It's one thing to say, hey, I want to put things together, but you have to, if you're going to do what you're doing, you have to know what you're doing a little bit more. Did that come pretty naturally, or was that a pursuit in its own?
It came fairly naturally because of being young and helping my dad, and he'd put me in charge of fixing the light meters for the flashes and the photographers use. So I'd be in charge of that, and he'd teach me what he knew. And you want something to read, kid? Read this 1970s electronics book, sort of thing.
Were you the guy who told him if the flash was working or not? You just stand in front of the flash. Is it working?
Look into the light.
Let me try that again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's I think based off that background, and then when I first started working, I was in technology, working in computers. So just, I guess that background and the career that I took just made it a little bit easier for me to pick up guitar, pedal, electronics. And unless you go down the digital signal processing route, analog is relatively simple, right? They're just kind of building blocks in the end. So
yeah,
you just put them together and see what works.
If you can play with Legos,
that's right.
Then it seems like that's what I'm telling myself right now. Actually, you can do it.
Yeah, and these days it's much simpler, right? With the resources that you have at hand, building,
so much,
designing PCBs and getting them manufactured is just a million times easier than it was sort of 10 years ago, where you'd have to be using Veriboard or something like that.
Well, and then you've got like, this is exactly how to do these things, and then you have like friends like Joe from Hello Sailor who's like, this is probably not how you do this. I found these parts in the junkyard. They may or may not work, and I pulled a washing machine apart, and there were no parts in there. But let's use the washing machine as the pedal.
Yes, it's got a big switch.
Yes,
Joe's awesome. He's I've over the years I've sort of reached out to Brian Wampler and Joe and Marcus and sort of those the bigger names and they've helped me. The pedal community is so, you'd imagine that it would be really competitive because it's such a flooded market, right?
Yeah.
But everyone is so willing to help and offer their experience and one of the pedals that I sent over to Joe, he put in the hands of Dan at that pedal show, and now it's on Dan's board, and it's just,
that's amazing.
It blows you away how friendly everyone is, right? And
yeah.
No,
so what was the first official DevTech pedal?
The first one I ever did for myself was the DG original, which is obviously stands for David Gilmour. I was
Did
on
your
that
marketing
path.
team come up with that one, or
that's Look, I have to say the artistry and the marketing is definitely not my strong point. The thing is with pedal names, right? You pick a name, and you think, great, I've got an awesome name. This is fantastic. The world's going to love it. And then you look it up on the internet, and someone's already got it.
Yeah, it's like a band name.
So yeah, that's right. Same as band names. We had the same issue.
Yes.
That was the first pedal, because I was trying to get his solo sound right for our band. And
was there a specific solo that you were going after, by the way?
Definitely Comfortably Numb, right? I think is that
the
cliche?
one.
Yeah,
if you're going to do it, I mean, that's the one. That's a pretty good one to pick.
Yeah, and a close second came to the Time solo again, but that wasn't a big muff. That was a silicon fuzz pedal, which I ended up recreating, or my own version of it, to and called it again the Dark Side of the Moon. So I have to talk to that marketing department.
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah.
So that led you into if you're going to the website, you're going to see two kind of familiar-ish looking things. One is going to be something that looks a little Pete Cornishy, and the other one's going to feel a little bit like the color sound.
soundy.
Yeah, color soundy. I'm trying to figure out a way to not say color soundy. But that's okay, because you're not saying this is one. It's like, no, I was heavily influenced by this and I wanted to make my own.
Yeah, so that's right. I mean, the pedals. I mean, there's a couple of different things here. Getting an original, power boost from Color Sound is again cost prohibitive, and there were so many different iterations of it that to get sort of a vintage sounding original one, you had to make it yourself, really.
Mm-hmm.
At that time. So that's the path I went down and made myself
and
one.
They all sound
again,
different. Like a lot of those old pedals is like you can put 5 in a row and they can sound different-ish.
Yeah, especially the big muff pedals, right, from Electro Harmonics. I think they just picked whatever parts were available. So there's even within the same.
They were hanging out with Joe picking up circuits in the dumpster.
Hey, someone's throwing away a perfectly good TV.
And with the Cornish stuff that I'm doing, I was heavily inspired by his sound, especially after I got the OC1 compressor and went down that path and realized that I couldn't afford any others, and I'm not sure that 80% of the guitar market could really afford them either. So I wanted to do something inspired by his pedals, but offer it to guitarists like myself that just couldn't afford to get an original Pete Cornish pedal.
Right. Now, for those of us who don't live in Australia, is it harder to? I guess I would imagine that there's not as many of these old pedals or as many options. It might be a little bit harder to get something that is usually, you can get anywhere here or in UK. Is that a silly assumption of mine?
No, it's not really. I mean, there's less people here as well, right? So there's going to be naturally less pedals around, and they do come up from time to time. You get some old rockers that have got one of the old fuzz pedals and whatever. But yeah, because there's less of them, they become more expensive and harder to get. So yeah, it exactly was that, right? When I started doing this, I was playing in a band 4 or 5 times a week and not paying for the beer that we were drinking, really. And so I couldn't afford to buy pedals, so I ended up just making them. That's where it came from.
So for those who, I'm sure there's some people out there that are like maybe really, really familiar with the Pete Cornish stuff. There's probably a very big majority that is moderately familiar, and those who maybe have never heard it before. But if you have had exposure to it, there is a certain mythology almost about these pedals. Can you help us understand more about like why the sort of cult of Cornish?
Yeah, I mean, he's the man. He's a legend, really. He was probably one of the first, or the first, engineer creating like a custom switching guitar pedal board system, right? In the 70s, and working with, and now you've got so many other options, but back then there weren't many. And so he was working with people like Brian May and Gilmore and The Who and Paul McCartney and big names like that. They'd, I guess, word of mouth, they'd reach out, and he became legendary in that way. So many of his circuits or his designs are really enhanced versions of other circuits. You know, for example, you take the Big Muff and modify that. So there are many, not all, but many of his circuits are just enhanced vintage style circuit pedals. And I think over time, working with these stars, these big name guitarists and bands, he's built that name, and rightly so. I think he's a great engineer.
Second question. With that kind of status, and it may just have taken people a long time to go like, wait, I can do that. I think it doesn't feel like there's a lot of versions of this. I think that you are maybe one of the only people that are just kind of outright saying, hey, this is based on, like, very obviously based on a Pete Cornish box. I've seen a lot of people with, like, you know, kind of their version, and they put it in their art and everything, but not nearly the direct homage that you have been making. And I've always wondered, like, if with the cult in mind, why aren't there just tons of these kinds of pedals? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's a really good question. And maybe if there were, I wouldn't have gone down the route of building my own. You know, because as I said, it was more for me than anyone else. But and I think perhaps that the market is flooded, so I would have expected. There are a few other brands out there that are doing inspired by pedals. So I don't really have an answer for it, because I'm glad there's not, Todd.
I'd really rather not go down this path.
But yeah, I mean, maybe because they are just, you know, if we're talking about the P1, the Cornish P1, they all have these acronym names like P1 and P2 and G2 and but all those three pedals that I just named, they're actually Big Muff variants. You know, they're buffered input, buffered output, and buffered bypass, and he's modified some of the circuit components at different values, but it's his take on a circuit that already exists.
Yeah. But his little twist is always the buffering. Is that right? Yeah,
especially with working with those large bands where they're, with all the light rigs and the interference and everything. I think that was his thing, was the buffering and signal loss that you'd get with long cable runs, and and then enhancing those circuits to what he liked, or what probably more so what the artist liked and preferred, and working closely with them.
That whole thing, let's just take a second to think about, if you go to a club now or if you go to a show and it almost all the stage it's not stage sound anymore. All the lights are LED. All the sound is digitally, pushing out. And it probably takes about as much power as what could recharge your phone, as opposed to all of those incandescent lights and sodium lights and stacks of 100-watt heads and everything else, just draining an entire city for one show. It's
that's not too far.
It's nuts.
Yeah, there's definitely less interference these days, isn't there?
A little bit, yeah. But actually, I do want to tap into that because a lot of the pedals that are in the legend status, I guess you could say, and just like the ones that we're talking about for Cornish, he was building them for guys who were draining cities of electricity on a nightly basis, and at like ridiculous volumes and everything. When people are trying to apply the tools of yore to their, little amps or digital amps now, how far off do you think that the sound actually is? I mean, I wonder that every time I see some of these old pedals, especially ones that were built for, like this was on Pink Floyd's rig, it's okay, great. And behind him was a wall of 100-watt amps.
How's it sound in the bedroom?
Exactly. Like, do you think that we are getting any kind of a real representation of what this was actually supposed to do?
Another really good question, Todd. It's definitely music sound, or guitar amps sound better working, right? Yeah. Working the tubes. They sound better loud. It's just how it is. And the amps what I'd suggest is lowering your amp spec. So you'll bring a smaller amp so you can emulate that, I guess, because they're they're on the verge of when PAs were kind of not even a thing, or just starting, right, and amplifying the vocals, not the guitars. So that's why there were 100-watt Marshall stacks, and where these days when we play, this as well. Can that guitarist turn down, please?
Oh yeah,
yeah. So, I mean, to answer the question, it is difficult unless you're playing at volume. So, I mean, I use an attenuator, which has its own issues. Some people love them, some people hate them, but it does help.
Yeah.
And lower get a smaller amp.
Yeah. I have a question on the builds based on what we were just talking about. Do you, as a builder, take that into consideration on any of your pedals where you're like, hey, I want to make this true to the original, but maybe another one you might say, I'm going to try to adapt this to make it work for, a modern player's setup?
Yeah, sure. So it depends on the pedal that's in the range, right? The Color Sound Power Boost Recreation, which is the Power Driver 18, is an exact recreation of the vintage or the original schematic from Color Sound. So that is just a pure recreation, straight for straight. circuit. And that is allowed. If anyone's played one or knows the lore behind it, it is a loud pedal, and it was designed to push the front of your ramp. It wasn't really designed as a fuzz or an overdrive really by itself. It was designed as a boost. Obviously in the name, right?
Power driver.
So yeah, you offer both the standard power driver and the power driver 18. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so the power driver standard was a recreation of the color sound overdriver,
okay.
Which and the difference between them were the power boost was created in England. With 18 volts. Used to use 2 9-volt batteries, if you can imagine that.
How convenient.
And it was in big orange box. And when they tried to market it to the US, it didn't really take off. And so what they did was they modified the circuit slightly, dropped it down to 9 volts to reduce the headroom, and changed the box to an actual sort of gunmetal grey box. And that took off and sold and ended up being sold back in the UK as well. So I've done both iterations. Depends, the standard 9-volt version has lower headroom and sort of breaks up into drive sooner,
right,
and has a little bit more total fuzz at the high end of the gain. Whereas the 18-volt version, the Power Driver 18, has more total volume and takes a bit longer to break up into to drive, and it acts sort of a mixture of a boost and an overdrive, and if you max it, you'll get that color sound fuzz type sound.
Right.
Well, and aside from the 18 volt or the 9 volt difference between the two, I should say, the Power Driver 18 essentially has a master volume on it, as opposed to the other one, which is the drive is the volume.
Yeah, I mean, the original pedals actually they didn't have a master volume. The volume was the drive.
Right.
I do on the standard one, I do actually put a master volume on the side. It's sort of hiding. But there's a little chicken knob on the yeah.
I never
so it is there.
Bad.
And that's purely, to go back to your question, Todd, it was because the volume boost in both of those pedals, even the 9-volt one, was just so huge that you turn it on and it was way above unity, right? And to get any drive out of it, or you want to push it into fuzz, you'd be heard down the street.
Yeah.
And one of the other, so some of the Cornish ones I've modified slightly, try to put my own spin on it a little bit, and little buffer switch so you can turn the bypass buffer off, and the Dark Side of the Moon pedal that I've got there is actually an attempt to get the guitar tones off the Dark Side of the Moon album, and it's a very highly modified fuzz face with a transistor boost stage in front of it to like you said, I guess, cater for current times where you don't have the input impedance problem, and you don't, it sort of attempts to get the tone of the guitar without having the volume cranked, upsetting your neighbors.
Well, and I think that actually brings up another good point. We were talking before, it's about like live music, like some of the live recordings and stuff. I'm a layman, but I think it's kind of impossible to actually get what happens if you put like something like this or a treble boost that's just, cranked in front of an amp, where you're getting all the things that your guitar isn't necessarily supposed to do. That's the cool stuff. Mm-hmm. That's the stuff that, when you hear it in a live situation or on a great recording, you're like, oh man, that just happened. This, the squeals, the growls, the where the speakers are just being overloaded and all of that great stuff.
Yeah.
And we just don't have the same equipment that would make all that stuff. Or, I mean, we have access to it, but it's not realistic. So anything that you plug into your amp in a bedroom or club situation, getting that same kind of thing is going to be dang near impossible. So I know that that's one of the things you're actually trying to chase with this, with these kinds of pedals.
Yeah, it's definitely a valid problem, right? We can't play at the volumes they used to play at. We can't drive the amps as hard as they used to, and therefore your tone is going to be harder to achieve. So yeah.
Yeah. But that being said, the creations that you have made are pretty outstanding and will certainly get you a very, very close...
A reasonable facsimile.
A reasonable facsimile. Thank you, Tony. Yes.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. So let's just talk about really quickly your sort of the range that you have. We've touched on some of the Cornish stuff. You've got the soft drive, which also, aside from like the greats that you've mentioned, one of my favorite greats, Noel Gallagher, had this on his board, I believe.
Who?
Yeah. Then you got we talked about the power drivers, but you got a couple more in here. You want to go through? Just tell us about a couple more of these.
Yeah. So there's a heavy Cornish influence there with the, we do the P1, which is essentially a modified Big Muff. There's the few of his range, the GC1, the SS3, which you just mentioned with the soft drive. The custom fuzz is a G2, and we've got his boost there is an ST boost. The soft drive actually, like all of these, I built these for myself right when I started, and the soft drive, I built a few of them and put one up on Reverb, and I had an order come in from the US at the time, and I had an email not long after that, and it was Herschel Yadovitz from Chris Isaac's band.
Oh,
yeah. He reached out and told me how much he loved it, and could he get some more? So that was really nice to hear, because another reason why I sort of decided to market these, right?
Yeah.
Getting the feedback that I got.
But what can people expect from the soft drive? What's the magic there?
It's a modified. Well, I mean, if you look at the circuit, it's you can tell it's got roots in the Distortion Plus. Actually, funny enough, if you can imagine that after you've played it.
I wouldn't have guessed that
because that was my first pedal I bought was a MXR Plus. And, this sounds nothing like it.
No. Yeah, and a lot of the pedals are like that, right, that he makes is they've started as something else and he's modified them. So, and then I've put my spin on it as well. So again, but yeah, it started as a Distortion Plus and then it's been modified and the treble. And well, like you mentioned before, Todd, with Oasis, Gallagher used it's the SS2 actually, and the soft drive is based off the SS3, and the SS2. Yeah, the it's the same actual circuit, right? But the SS2 just had a single tone knob on it, and from what I've been told is that he was getting feedback saying that there's just too much bottom end in the circuit, so he had to split it out into a treble and bass and call it the SS3. So it's the same, essentially the same pedal, just with more control over the EQ.
Got it. Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you for clearing that up. So, of the ones that you have, people can go buy all these things, which is great. How about are you are you? Is this kind of like your range? Are you constantly tinkering and building and making new things, or are you like, no, this is where I'm sitting?
No, I'm constantly trying to evolve. Unfortunately, I don't. Being a single man operation, I don't get a lot of time anymore to which is frustrating because I have so many ideas on the shelf or half done, or even I've got the circuit boards ready. Right now, I'm working on a compressor actually to try and mimic the my OC1 that I love, but and it's just sitting on the. I'm looking at the circuit board right now, looking at me, saying, "Terry, you need to get to this." So, so there's definitely some plans into 2026, and in around a dual pedal and a compressor.
Ooh.
And starting work on some modulation as well, which should be fun.
That's cool. When you say modulation, are you talking about like a delay or a vibe or what?
I've the circuit that I've got written up at the moment is a phaser, but I've also got a reverb that I'm thinking of replacing it with. Phaser is very. I love phaser, but it is a lot of people. You either love it or you hate it, right?
Singular sound.
That's right. Yeah. So yeah. These are the decisions you have to make right now that you're not just making it for yourself anymore.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. That's cool. And when you, I know you mentioned you're a single operator guy, which doesn't mean you're just the one building. You're building, you're designing, you're putting together, you're doing all the emails, you're doing all the blah blah blah. Like that, it's a lot of work.
I know that feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Tony's lazy, so I can just imagine how you must feel.
Yes.
But I've got a special trick. I pay my daughter $1 to write the boxes out. She writes the address on the boxes.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Nice.
So trying to get them involved as well in the easy things.
Well, we appreciate that you're out there doing these things, we'd love to talk to you again when you get those out there. That'd be a great follow-up episode. We're just really thrilled to get the chance to play these pedals. There's a lot of craft in them. They sound absolutely fantastic, and it's if you're looking for, if you'd like some of the unobtainium but only have some tanium
partial tanium,
then this is a great option for you. And not just because I think this is another point, and this is one of the reasons that we like the boutique builders, and this is why we are enthusiastic about this. You didn't just decide, hey, I'm going to make a Pete Cornish pedal because he's elusive and they're expensive. It's like, no, this is a sound that means a lot to you, and the things that made that sound therefore mean a lot to you, and you're putting that back out there in the world, and I think that that's worth a lot more.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
All right. With that, we are going to dip our toe into the murky waters of...
Would you rather?
Tony?
Yes, Todd.
Murky up our toes.
Okay, prepare to be murked. This week's Would You Rather. So you're walking down the street.
Yes.
And you see this bottle. It doesn't look like much. It's kind of dirty, dusty, whatever. But you said, the missus might like that. Put a flower or something in it, right?
Uh-huh.
So you go over and you brush it off a little bit.
Uh-huh.
And poof!
Poof. How did I know that was going to happen?
Just like that.
Yes.
That's exactly what it sounded like.
Yeah.
Out comes a genie.
Uh-huh.
He says, hello there. Thank you for freeing me. My name's Gene. Gene Genie.
Yes.
Get it?
My name's Gene the Dancing Machine Genie.
I would like to reward you for setting me free.
Mm-hmm.
It was getting very cramped inside there, you see. Here's what I've come up with. You know, AC/DC is going to be doing an acoustic tour this coming year. And I'd like you to fill in on guitar.
This is an acoustic one?
An acoustic.
Tony,
yes.
Come on.
Oh, yes, Todd.
Acoustic on
we
this show.
do acoustics on this show. Because, just, will you hear me out, Todd? Hear me out.
My teeth are burned at Tony right now.
You'll learn to love acoustic guitars one day.
All right.
When you get to my age.
Oh.
So that's part of the deal, right?
Uh-huh.
You get to tour acoustically with AC/DC.
Yeah, no one's dream ever.
And you get to wear a special schoolboy suit.
Okay.
You love it?
Yes.
The best part of Gene Genie's gift to you is he's going to give you a choice of 2 acoustic guitars that you're going to take on tour with you.
Okay.
The first is David Gilmour's 1969 Martin D35.
Uh-huh.
He said that this is his favorite writing guitar.
Uh-huh.
And it sold not too terribly long ago for $1.2 million, let's say. Yeah, why not, you know. The second guitar you can choose is Keith Richards' 1965-ish Gibson Hummingbird, which he used to record Jumpin' Jack Flash and Street Fighting Man. And anytime if you hear an acoustic guitar on a Stone song, chances are it's that guitar. Which would you rather?
Okay. Side note.
There
should be like a music game show where they pull back the curtain and there's like 20 D whatevers there. And
D35.
you have to say, which one was David Gilmour's? And if you pick it, you win $10,000. No one would win. That's what I'm saying.
Are you saying that all Martins sound the same?
I'm saying that by sight, even without playing it, you wouldn't be able to pick it.
But that doesn't matter.
That's just my own thing.
Gene Genie is giving you the actual instruments.
Gene Genie's giving me the instrument.
And this is
which none of us could actually verify.
It doesn't matter. You got to trust.
I know.
Trust in Gene, will you? Will you please trust in Gene?
Does I protest too much?
Methinks thou dost protest too much.
Gene, please don't lie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, why would he lie?
Yeah.
Come on.
I think Gene Genie had a rough night. Okay.
But just think
ahead.
about it. These are 2 guitars that countless hits were written on.
Mm-hmm.
Acoustic guitars.
Yeah.
Just for Todd.
Yeah.
12 to
If I'm not mistaken, it might have been Wish You Were Here that was written on that guitar.
There you go.
Yes.
We have a David Gilmour expert online here.
Well, it's heavily biased already.
Well, it doesn't have to be. I mean, but then there's the Keith Richards guitar.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Yeah, sure.
Which would you rather? Okay, I'm going to go
Tony.
first. I'm going with Keith's guitar.
Okay.
Because I mean, as much as I like David Gilmour, I think a Hummingbird is a cooler guitar.
Okay, that's fair.
I like the pickguard on that.
Yes.
That's what I'm going with.
I mean,
I do.
Again, this one's not heavily biased on either side at all. Jeez.
Well, if you give
So
me
I see what you're doing.
Yes.
You're playing to you and you're playing to him, and I'm left in the middle.
Yeah. That's
You gotta
right.
choose,
Give me a
Todd.
Band-Aid.
Terry, which would you rather, need I ask?
Ooh.
Well, I mean, I'd have, I'd feel really bad if I didn't go with the Gilmour guitar, would I? But Wish You Were Here is very
I think
different.
you'd have to
sounding
rethink your life choices if that were the case.
It's Wish You Were Here is a very different sounding song than AC/DC, even acoustic, right? So, and I feel the Richard's guitar probably suits the sound better. But to your point, Todd, acoustics are acoustic, maybe. And I've got to go to Gilmore.
Okay.
All right. Todd, which would you rather?
Okay. Well,
Deciding choice.
I think I'd do the Hummingbird too. Just simply on its looks.
No.
And probably Keith too.
Yeah, it's got Keith mojo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But again, if those were sitting against the wall in the local shop, I wouldn't even.
Do I need to say it again?
Twice at him.
Do I need to say it again? I mean, I'm going to have to put the genie back in the bottle, and Gene's not going to be happy. If you don't trust Gene, who can you trust?
I don't know where you're going.
That's right.
Come on, Todd.
Okay, you're right, Tony. Thank you for
you.
coming up with the Would You Rather. So since we all know that you can do better than this Would You Rather, please send us your Would You Rathers so Tony doesn't torture me anymore.
Oh.
With this. No, he's wildly inventive.
What was that?
Yeah.
Was that a little a sarcastic cough I heard?
All right, Tony, get us out of here.
Todd, that's right. At this point of the show, is a little group of people we love to thank. These are our
You get
executive.
to have your name read on the thing.
These are our executive producers. Now, an executive producer helps make this show possible. How do you become one? Head over to patreon.com/the Guitar Knobs. Check out a couple different levels at which you can participate, become a friend, a hero, a sponsor.
A sponsor.
A sponsor
Yes.
of the podcast. Each level comes with some very nice thank you gifts and opportunities to win some very nice things. Giveaways, T-shirts, all the stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm told there's one thing more.
There is.
What would that be?
You hit the wrong button.
You get to have your name read on the thing.
Yes, we already established that. There's a line of tape that goes across the middle of the table, and you just crossed it. Okay, go ahead.
That's right. You get your name read on the thing. That's what I'm going to do right now. So special thanks to these executive producers: Anthony Lathrop, Brett Hogarth, Cameron Pampas, Darren Gregory, Don Kloss, Elad Mizrahi, James Bell, James White, John Esterle, Firmware Buzzer FX, John Sebastian, John Halverson, Justin Jones, Ken Sayers, Michael Senchuk, Mike Davenport, Owen Eads, Pluton, Ralph Gottschalk from Wonderful Audio Technology. What? Richard Kendall, Rick Calhoun, Rusty Sneeden, Stefan Lamb, Tom Barazin, Trevor Ellenberg, Trevor Gunberg, Vader and Pedals, Caribou Gone, and Ed Rossler.
Yeah.
But wait, Todd, there's more, because there's a special group of executive producers. We call them our Grand Poobahs. These are the creme de la creme, the top of the heap, the number ones, and they wear a fez upon their head whilst listening to this podcast, you see. So special thanks to these Grand Poobahs: Anthony Jamalero, Billy Spitfire Unlimited, Bob Crouch, Brian Robison, Cody Foster, David Kaminga, David Tyndall, Enrico Fernando, Fox Hill Studio, Gregory Randall, Hex Matos, John Williams, Martin Cliff, Matt Hart, Michael Van Zant, Michio Murakishi, Moon Guitars, Pedro Vasquez, Sam Jett, Steve Keys, James Pennington, Zach Oswald from Brandon Wow Pickups, Jonathan Labate from M2 Labs, Ty Barnes, James Castellano, and Kenny Howe.
Kenny Howe. All right.
Mr. Rickenbacker himself.
Indeed. Thank you. We cannot do the show without you.
We wouldn't want to do the show with.
And honestly, we wouldn't. Yeah. It is all tied together. And The only thing,
hand in glove, if you will.
yes, exactly. And it isn't about. It's honestly just about it rolling and keeping it going. That's all we're trying to do.
Yeah.
We need to say a huge thank you to Terry Crawford of DevTech Audio, calling all the way from Sydney, Australia, to be with you out there.
Yes.
Thank you, Terry.
Thanks, guys. I really appreciate all your support and listening to your 400 and something odd episodes. It's been great.
Yes, I'm shocked and appalled that you have listened to almost all of them.
I'm just concerned.
Big fan here.
Yeah, that's awesome. Where can people go get these awesome pedals of yours?
Go to the website at devtechaudio.com.
Perfect.
Or you can find me on Instagram as well.
There you go.
That works for me.
Tony, how about yourself?
Head over to pickguardian.com. Check out the stuff that I do. What do? I make pick guards for guitars. How do you get one? You shoot me an email. You let me know what you need, what you got, what you're trying to do, and I'll make something special for you. As our friend Todd likes to say, it's your opportunity to make your guitar even more yours.
That's correct. Thank you, Tony. You can shoot me a DM at Guitar Knobs on Instagram. Send us your would you rathers, unless you want to hear more about acoustic guitars and genies.
That's wait till next week. I'm coming up with one right now.
Seriously, please send us your would you rathers. We would love to get to know you, and that just simply starts by saying hi, who you are, where you're from, and that you listen to the show. Just do that. Start there, and things evolve. We have gained so many great friends from literally that interaction.
Yes,
and it has been a bounty of riches that we did not expect, and that's speaking the truth.
No, I give you that.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, have a fantastic guitar week, and subscribe. Nice one, Tony.
Yeah. What time is it there? Must be about 11.
No, it's only, 9? No, it's going on 9 here.
Oh, no. Okay.
Yeah.
In the evening.
Yesterday.
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 Last night.
Yeah, I've already been there.
Yeah. See, we're much better looking than we sound.
Yes.
Absolutely.
A what?
A would you rather?
Do we have one?
Do we?
We don't.
We.
I don't either.
We.
So you.
No. I didn't think of one.
It's Tony's job. He just.
It is not my job, but it's become my job.
Laugh at my jokes. I mean, it gets hot to where he's like, I don't even want to go outside. It just feels like I'm gonna burn to a crisp, miserable. And I've got a lovely head of skin, so that makes it a little tougher on the old noggin when the sun's beating down on me.
Can I get this out of my system?
No, don't.
You call that a knife?
No. God, Tony.
I had to get it out.
No, you didn't.
I had to get it out.
Every time with the knife.
Well, I mean, it happened.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, even the phones sound cool in Australia.
Backwards.
Yes.
I love that part.
There's another one. You're knocking them all down, aren't you, Tony?
I don't mind a Guinness occasionally. My family's English, actually, so from the UK. So
isn't everybody down there? I mean, technically.
Well, that's true. That is true.
I mean, I don't mean to bring up history or anything.
Let's talk about prisons now, shall we? You can go to prison in England, or
if someone was getting sentenced way back then, but one of the buttons was, "You too can have a Jet 2 holiday." Oh yeah, I'll take that one.
I have heard all of them, actually.
What?
I went on a Guitar Knobs binge, actually.
Oh my God! And you're still breathing?
Starting about maybe 2 years ago, and I've got through the whole lot. So
wow.
The craziness of the internet's trying to figure something out.
You have all week to figure it out. I give you an allowance every single week, and
where's my allowance?
You squander it.
Where is my allowance?
We don't want to tarnish our sterling reputation right now. So.
Yeah, my children are half Polish. Actually, their mother's Polish. So yeah. So I speak a little bit, but
it's a tough
one. So is one of them Polish and one of them's Australian?
Yes.
Yeah, only half of them is Polish.
That's
so the kid's mum's actually born just outside of Krakow as well. So
really?
Yeah, about a 45-minute drive, 50-minute drive.
Last name's not Dudzik.
Did she know my dad?
Possibly.
Because
I'm almost
Tony's
done
meds are going
polishing
to
this
kick in
turd.
a second. Yeah.
Yes. Yay! Another crisis averted.
And away we go.
Well, that's it for these knobs. Please visit our Patreon page at patreon.com/theguitarknobs. Visit our website at theguitarknobs.com for all of our past episodes, 4 on the Floor blog, and other good stuff. You can connect with us on social too at our Facebook page and share your gear and stories on our Facebook group. Also, be sure to check out our Instagram at Guitar Knobs. Catch you next time.